Hello, and welcome back to Making It with Michelle. As you can see, I'm in a new setup. Thank you to my wonderful husband who was the brainchild behind this situation. So let me know what you think down in the comments, and maybe I'll come back here. Maybe it's totally somewhere else. I don't know. Sky's the limit now, apparently. Okay, so it is March the 2nd. Yes, Sunday, March the 2nd. It's been quite a while since I filmed, definitely since I posted a video. So thank you for coming back, and hopefully it'll be worth it. I have some finishes, some fully finishes, lots of whips to show, lots of new starts. And I do have some old finishes too that it all kind of ties together. So now we're in this is my stitchy spot. There's a lamp that's over here, and this is our TV is kind of over here on this wall. So when me and Aaron, my husband, are watching TV or hanging out and he's playing a game or something, this is where I belong. Alright, so let's get started. I guess first I'll show you some FFOs. So back in December, end of December, Lisa and I and my mom and my sister and some friend of ours went to a place called the Best Little Retreat Center in Texas. It is technically I think in Plano, but basically Dallas. So we meet up and you can rent a spot, and there's lots of restaurants around, and it's just a nice place to congregate with your friends. So we went there, and I managed to do a very brief stint of FFOing. So first is Cocoa Quaker. Get that to, here we go. And I just finished it, very similar to the instructions. I got that little button, if you can see that at the top. Little focus. I'm sorry, there we go. From Creative Stitches, it's super cute. I stitched this on 40 count cream puff by Miss Crescent Crown, and I used all the called for, except for the white. I think we just used the DMC sub. Mom and I stitched this together. The other FFO that I did was Christmas Mini Moon. This was stitched on 40 count, something by Picture This Plus. I'm sure I've talked about it in previous videos. I haven't covered up my Franken stitching, but I finished stitching this at the end of last year, and finally, I didn't put any trim, I just didn't feel like it needed any. So, just a simple little pillow. Okay. Next, Lisa and I a couple weeks ago dropped off some framing at the Peanut Gallery in Aubrey, Texas, and Denise and Joseph are just a delight, and I encourage you, if you need to get something framed, if you're nearby, can go over there and talk to them. They are the most gracious, helpful people, and very good at their jobs. So first up is my 2024 Advent Calendar by Modern Folk Embroidery. This was stitched on 36 count Glacier, which was the linen that came in the Advent calendar and then stitched with all the called for threads. So, and I picked this kind of steely blue gray frame, and I think it looks amazing, and I love it. So this is what the back looks like, very professional. So there's framed piece number 1. And then I'm sure you're all guessed what my second framed piece was of course Winter Moon by Plum Street Samplers. So we picked this. There's a wall at the Peanut Gallery that I call the Michelle wall, or the Michelle section, because they're very simple, kind of just simple, nice frames, and I love the kind of rubbed off paint detail over here, and I just think it looks so great. They did an amazing job. So you can believe I scurried home and hung these up on the wall, lickety split. This I got as a kit for Christmas one year from my parents, and and it was on 36 count Saltbush by Ox and Rabbit. and the kit came from Country Sampler. So yes, I didn't put the gate down at the bottom. I also forgot the doorknob, so if you want to find one that's not perfect, look no further. But I think the frame really just adds so much to it and brings me joy every time I stare at it when I sit here in my spot. Okay. So those are my two kind of FFOs and then framings. So then let's talk about some previous finishes that I would like to show, and it all connects here together. So one previous finish that I did post a video recently with my 2024 finishes, and I can't remember if I talked about this or not, but this is House on Blueberry Ridge, or House on Blueberry Hill by Blueberry Ridge Designs. And she's the daughter of Pangy Patch and Quilts. This is one of the first pieces I got framed at the Peanut Gallery. I stitched this, I honestly can't remember when I stitched it. It may have been 2023, and I got it framed in 2024. I want to say it's on a 36 count, but Blueberry Ridge has a nice, what's it called? Series, a series of these, and this was the first one I did, and definitely not the last, as you'll see soon. So that was really fun. It hangs in my kitchen with a bunch of other nice stuff. Okay, some other previous finishes are just some Valentine's Day things, as Valentine's Day happened a couple weeks ago. This is Valentine's Day Quaker by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I stitched this on a 32 count. I think it's Chantilly by Color and Cotton. I did use a Color and Cotton thread, but not the called for. If you want to know, just ask. I may have stated it in my finishes parade. So, not my best pillow finish, but it does the trick, and it's done. These two are hanging out in my dough bowl. Thank you, Lisa. Black Coffee and Grits for my dough bowl she gave me for Christmas. But this one is 2024 Collector's Heart, and I just finished it into a pillow. I used all the called for except for one thread I didn't have, and I just subbed it, but I don't really think you can tell. So, and I finished it as a pillow, and the pattern I think had it framed. So mine just made a pillow. It's easier to make a pillow than get something framed. So those are my two Valentine's Day previous finishes. And as we're moving into spring, I thought I'd show a couple of my spring pillows. The first one is Spring Quaker by Primrose Cottage Stitches. And I did stitch this with the called for threads. I think I got the finishing kit. But I stitched it on a 32 count. Who knows? Something from my stash. And this is the back. I tend to pick my own, even if I get the finishing kits, I tend to pick my own backing fabric just because I have so many scraps. And of course, how cute is that? If it'll focus. That fabric gets little flowers. There we go. Little flowers and checks, and I put my little thing over it. So, loving that. And then my other spring finish is I think it's called Hello Spring by Brenda Gervais. I used mostly called for. Some of them I didn't have and I wasn't willing to go buy or wait the time to go buy. I did coffee dye the blue like you were supposed to, and I think this pink. The main color I switched was the Hello Spring. I used one of the new, it's like Misty Mauve or something. Of course, I made it more purple. I added this rickrack trim. I think it's called Bird's Nest. And then here's my backing fabric. So it was really fun to stitch. I really enjoyed it. And I think this was the last one I stitched out of the series. So it was nice to end it. And that's part of why I didn't want to wait, because I just wanted to have them all done. So Brenda Gervais, Hello Spring. Yay. Okay. So last you spoke with me, I had a lovely thumb injury, and let me look at my book here. This is the, what is it? Cross Stitchers Planner by My Crazy Life Lori. I did not stitch for a pretty solid 2 weeks once I saw you, or after I saw you last. And now I'm perfectly fine back to my old habits, and stitching is going great. But I just felt like I didn't get a good start to the year with that. I don't know, I was just, normally I'm stitching away and lots of finishes here and there, but I think I was talking to my friend Alex from Sadlick Stitches, and I think I'm just working on larger projects this year. And so a lot of stitchers I've seen lately have been talking about how they have really learned a lot about themselves, and I don't think I'm any different. I like small stitches, but now I'm kind of, I just want things on my wall, and I want larger pieces, and those just obviously take longer. So it's just, I'm just in a different era, I think, of where I was a year ago, and I'm fine with that. So anyways, so I just say that all. But so in the last 2 months, I only had 2 finishes. And in the beginning, I was really disappointed in that. The Lily's down here, in case you're wondering what I'm doing with my hands. But I only have 2 finishes. And again, that was really disappointing. Normally I'd have 5 or 6 or 7 in 2 months. And so again, I'm just a different phase, I think, in my stitching journey, and I'm happy, and I'm getting happier with that. So anyways, so a start and finish from last time. Now I got dog hair on my hands. Is A Key to My Heart by Brenna Gervais. Make sure this is focusing. And as you can see, if you know what the pattern looks like, I think I already gave the pattern away. My colors are very different. So first of all, I got this beautiful pink fabric from Bestitch Me called Toe Beans. And my original intent was to stitch a sprouting lupine pattern that called for that fabric. Haven't stitched it yet, haven't bought the pattern yet, but I'm ready with the fabric. So I really wanted to use that pink fabric. And I had just gotten all this floss from the advent calendar that I showed earlier. And I was like, you know what, I may have said this before, but I'm not a red person, so I didn't want to stitch all those letters in red, and so I'm like, I'm here for pink. Obviously, I'll talk about this quilt in a minute. So I wanted to use pink, and then I just ended up doing my entire own color conversion. The majority of them are Roxy Floss Co. colors. The pink is the blues. The greens are, I believe, and the golds. I ended up making my flowers purple. Let's see if it'll focus. I made my flowers purple. Again, not hard to believe if you've watched me for any amount of time. The keys, the gray, I think, came from A Color in Cotton. The purples just came from Stash. I want to say they were Classic Colorworks. So, but the majority was, and I just used this fabric for my stash. I just thought the colors went beautifully, and I glued this down. And so I'm obsessed with this. I love it. And it was 40 count, so I just used 1 strand over 2 linen threads. And again, I ended up cutting some of the frippery, I guess you could say. Brenda sometimes adds in a bunch of random stitches, and while it does, add to the piece, I just didn't feel like doing that. So I was happy to make this my own. And again, just another pillow, no trim. I really didn't feel like it needed any. So, yay. So that was my first finish of the year in February. Okay, I have my board now for my second finish. So my second finish goes with my Blueberry House. This is House on Strawberry Hill by Blueberry Ridge Designs. This I stitched on 40 count Wren by Picture This Plus. And I used all the called for colors except for 1 color. I kitted this up at Creative Stitches, and they didn't have 1 color. It's the color in the door. I don't remember what it was, but they didn't have it, and so Lisa helped me pick Classic Colorworks Apple Fritter instead. But I really enjoyed stitching this. I kind of picked it up and put it down for a while. And finally, one day I was just like, you know what, I'm close enough to a finish. Let's just focus on it for a finish. And I love it. I want it hanging up next to my house on Blueberry Hill so bad. And I love it. So, yay. Okay. I have another finish, previous finish that is at the Framers. The peanut gallery is really far from my house. It's about an hour one direction. So every time I take something or I go pick something up, I try to take something else. But now I'm running out of pieces I want framed. So I'm glad I have this one to take. So anyways, okay, so now we're here for whips. Okay, I have my basket. I'll show some bags too. I haven't been doing a ton of quilting in the traditional sense, I suppose, but I have been making bags. I just can't not make a bag. Okay, so I'll show you my first bag. This I made the other weekend. I guess it was last weekend with Lisa. We were at the retreat center with my sister and some friends of ours. This fabric line is called Love Blooms. And I've been really enjoying the Lori Holt double zip zippers. And I can get those individually at Boxcar Quilts. And so it's nice because I can pick what colors I want, and then I end up buying 10 zippers, and it's a thing. And here's my lining fabric, just the hearts. So anyways, a very wonderful project lives in here. That project is, let me get the pattern. It's called Adorn Your Heart. Oh boy. Adorn Your Heart. I was watching Bernadette Stitches, and I don't tend to do this often, but I paused the video, went to 1, 2, 3 stitch, added everything to my cart, and checked out. So, yeah, I love it. I am making some changes though. Let's see, when did I start this, Michelle? I have my book here, might as well use it, right? Maybe? I don't know. I started this 2 days before Valentine's Day, so the 12th of February. I'm stitching this on 40 count, picture this plus vellum. And this is how far I am. The first thing I did was I went and did all the way around the border. And it met up the first time. I about cried tears of joy, so that was nice. And I've just been working my way. I've been really focusing on that basket. I love the border. Sometimes I get decision fatigue, and it's hard for me to pick like where I want to go next in a project. And so it's been nice to be like, oh, let me just go work on the border, and I'll, work on putting on the little leaves in and things like that. So, but I've lately been focusing on this basket. And as you can see, these flowers or these stars are supposed to be that bright blue, and I just like couldn't get around that. So I changed them to this purple. I'll show the purple to you in a second. And I'm eliminating this little angel baby thing. I don't know what I'm going to put there yet, but stay tuned. And honestly, I'm also thinking of changing the color of the house to that same purple. So I'm trying to put it in a little bit, just to get it in there. So this is the purple. It's called Plum Tart by Coloring Cotton. Let's see if I can hold it up there. So there's that purple. That blue is just too bright compared to the rest of the colors, and I just wasn't feeling it. I love the color itself, just not with this piece. So yeah. So there's my floss ring, and I'm really enjoying this. And I tend to not make a ton of plans, but when I was talking to Alex, and I was like, I think this is my next focus. Like, I really want to make some good progress on that. And normally I just stitch until I get tired of something, and then I move on. But it's been kind of nice, I guess, to sort of quote unquote make plans. But market's coming up, and I'm going to Hobby House in April, and just a squirrel could throw me for a loop in an entire another direction. So who knows? And I brought my whips too. I don't know if I have time to show them today. Like, I feel like all my spring summer whips. So we might go through those, and I might say, oh, I like that one again. Okay, my next big piece that I've been working on with Alex, my friend Alex Stitches, has been At Home by Brenda Gervais. I got this for two reasons. Obviously, I'm obsessed with houses, and Roxy Floss Co. posted a conversion, and I love Roxy Floss. It's hard for me to just go buy random skeins sometimes, and so when I have a reason to buy Roxy Floss for a conversion, I'm here for it. And so I went and ordered the conversion, and it's beautiful, and I love it. So, all right, so let's look at the stitching, Michelle. Okay, this is on a 40 count. It barely fits on my board. Let's see if we can see the color. The color is called Frost by Color and Cotton. I had pre-ordered this. They had done some like winter releases, and I just ordered this fabric, and it's just like the palest of blues. And I just really, it's not brown or cream or whatever, and so I just feel like it adds just a touch of something different to the piece and makes it more spring, really, in my opinion. I already know I'm not doing the overwon letters. I might just put some more trees up there and just make it pretty seamless. So we got the border done first. I've added in just a couple flowers because I wanted some colors, and then I added this flower down here so that way I can know which was the top and which was the bottom. So this is the full, height and width of the piece, and again, this is kind of my other focus for however long I feel like it. This is also in a bag that I have made semi-recently. Let me zip it up here. This is called Laguna Sunrise by Sherry and Chelsea, of course, with this beautiful orchid color. The inside is, again, from the fabric line as well. I can't remember when I made that. I'm sorry if I've already showed that before. Okay, next, I was doing 2 strands a day for maybe maybe a whole month. Yeah, really a whole month. I had started that after my thumb was doing better, and I kind of basically did it for a month, and then I started Adorn Your Heart and just got distracted, but I made a ton of progress. So this pattern is my Purple and Purple Quaker. It's called Love Thy Neighbor, and I mainly pulled this out because, again, Evertote, Caroline and I'll remember later. They had talked about doing a stitch along, and I was like, go ahead, I already started that. I should get mine out. So again, working on this pretty regularly for a whole month made really great progress for me. I made it all the way to the bottom. I've done a lot of motifs. I mean, this is tons of stitching. I think I'm gonna finish that bottom motif here in the next couple weeks and just see how I'm feeling, if I still want to keep it out, or I'm still loving it. The fabric is Hydrangea, 40 count Hydrangea by, I think it's Fiber on a Whim. Then I'm using Roxy Floss Grape Soda as my floss. So it's really beautiful, and I feel like I've done so much, especially from where I had started. I think when I showed it in my Whip Parade, I don't even think I have this whole motif, this very first one done. So doing all these other ones, and really, if I get this one done at the bottom, I'll be really happy. I mean, I'm happy just to have worked on it anyways. So I'm loving that one. And that one is nice because I don't have to pick what color I'm going to use. I just have to pick where I'm going to go. So that monochromatic part of it has been really nice. Okay, another whip, or I guess a new start. Let me get the pattern out here. As the 2025 Collector's Heart. I liked that it wasn't all pink. And so it's by Heart and Hand. And I think I am going to get this one framed. It's kind of too long and skinny for me to make a decent pillow. I don't know. We'll see. I'm stitching this with Mostly Called For. I was really excited. I feel like I don't have any floss in my stash to do like a ton of conversions. And so I managed to scrounge up enough I don't have all of the exact colors, but I feel like I had close enough. So, and I'm stitching this on 36 count Sleeping Bear. Again, I also had trouble figuring out what fabric to stitch it on because I knew I didn't want to stitch on the 32. And then Sully Stitches had done it on the Sleeping Bear. I feel like that looks really orange. But this is 36 count Sleeping Bear by Needle and Flax. And this is as far as I've gotten. This one I'm hoping I can finish maybe in the next month or two. But tried to tackle those letters first. But I'm happy with where I'm at. Those quilt blocks are really dense, and so the fact that I've gotten 3 of them done makes me feel pretty good. Okay, I'm attempting to put these back in their bags, but I forgot that we're doing something different in a second. Okay, next. Next is an old favorite. This is called Coffee and Eggs by the Artsy Housewife. Again, I think when so after my, not looking at linen for 2 weeks, I pulled out something with 40 count and I'm like, I cannot see that anymore. You just really have to adjust. So if you're ever wanting to stitch on something smaller, you really just have to give it some time. So I'm like, okay, what's a 36 count project I can work on? And that was, for me, the Artsy Housewife, Coffee and Eggs. So I really worked on this fairly diligently for maybe about a week. And this is how far I got. I love the colors that I changed her to. And that was a big part of why I didn't stitch on it a ton in the beginning, was, again, just the colors. And so once I got some colors in my stash and felt comfortable enough to change the colors, I love her little fuchsia, pink, aqua skirt and her little booties. And this is on 36 count Ren, so it's that same color as my house on Strawberry Hill. But I need to get her her other arm and her leg or her head. But I just had kind of put that away after I finished her skirt and her legs and her little booties. And she's so cute. So that brought me a lot of joy. And like I said, just nice to pull something out that really wasn't seasonal or, you know, again, now that I got those other 2 coffee pieces framed, it's really making me want to have more coffee things ready and done and framed and on my wall. So that's a whip, in addition to my other one that I have that I want done. One day I'll get there. And sometimes it's nice to stitch on 36. It's just bigger and, you know, quicker sometimes, but I love 40 count. Okay, next. I think in one of my last videos I had shown all of these winter things that I wanted to start. And I think I started about one of them. It's this one. So I had started Comfort and Joy. This, again, I got as a gift for Christmas from my mom from Country Sampler. This is on 40 count baked clay. And it's in the same bag that I had stored my other one on. So here's where I'm at. I think last time I may have just had this upper bit done. So I started some trees and the house and the roof and just really enjoying it. So I think on the picture I didn't realize that the roof was even red, but that roof is red, people. But it's really nice. And Foxing Rabbit 40 count is, I haven't stitched on this since January, I don't think, but it's nice to stitch on. So, and I do have needles and everything because that's just who I am. So that one's really fun. Okay, and then my last new start / whip that I've been working on is, I don't have a picture, but it's the Little House Needleworks new monthly mini series. It's like Mini Village. So this is where I'm at on January. Yep, I haven't gotten that far. I'm stitching this on, this is a Seraphim biscuit. And I'm using all the called for colors. As you can see, I've done 2 of the 4 houses. So I am not, I don't know why. I love them. I think they're the cutest things. But I just can't seem to stay up. This is the same for me with blocks of the months and quilting. Like, if somebody tells me I have to do this, sometimes I guess I don't want to say the word revolt. I just can't do that. I have to, I don't know. I just can't do that. So I'll get back to it. And I think it's just so cute and tiny. And Paisleys and Polka Dots has like a, where did that bag go? Has a, this is my nice project bag. Oh, here's the cover. I forgot I had the actual pattern. There you go. There's my nice project bag there for you. And I have a fat quarter of this, so I'm sure I'll stitch the other ones on the same fabric, or as many as I feel like doing. But yeah, wasn't that nice? So that is all the stitching that I have done in the past 2 months. I hope that was a lot. If it wasn't, I'm so sorry. Thanks for coming anyways. I'm going to talk about some other things that I have been doing. I guess I'll say like I said, a little tiniest bit of quilting. I guess I'll talk about this. This quilt I made a few years ago. This is by Quilty Love, Infinite Hearts, something like that. I'll put a link in the description box to the pattern. But this was really fun. Like I said, Valentine's for me is pink and purple, not red and pink. So I just used tons of fabrics I already had in my stash. I think the only fabric I bought was this white polka dot. It's a hole punch dot by, I think it's Kimberly Kite by Ruby Star Society. But I mixed all sorts of, like I have Allison Glass in here, is very modern. I have some art gallery. This is an art gallery print. I have my girl Sherry and Chelsea. I have some Juicy Juice fabric, some Carolyn Friedlander fabric. Like I went for color, not necessarily prints. And I think they all work together beautifully. And even my binding is Tula Pink. Like I just went with whatever I had and mainly looked at colors instead. So I'm loving this. The heart block is one of my absolute favorite blocks. And so that's what I love about Valentine's Day, is a good heart block. So I have some other quilts. If I'm good, I'll insert some pictures here, and if not, sorry. Okay, but I will show this. This is a pillow. This is my one Valentine's pillow. So this I made in about 2016, 2017. I got it from a quilt shop, sadly, that's now closed, called Stitched with Love. My friend Ellen Z. Actually, I found out made the pattern. And so this part here is English paper pieced. And that's how I know I did it in 2016, 2017, was because I did it on this bus trip at Stitch Fest, and it was a whole calamity of errors. But I remember finishing the EPP part and then putting it together. And I quilted it myself on my domestic machine. It's these just diamonds, and then on the back is grunge, and then you put this little heart on the back. Isn't that cute? So that's my Valentine's pillow. I take lots of naps on it. This is my napping area as well. So yeah. Okay, some other things that I have made are bags. So I'll just show them to you. So this one is Rosemary Cottage by Thimble Blossoms. And I just used the Elizabeth Ann Can Stitch tutorial. So there's the lining. But she doesn't talk about a patchwork. Lisa, I think, told me that she has a patchwork now, but I just use a mini charm, and I do 7x5. I've altered the dimensions a little bit. I think her original bag is a little bit smaller because I have made one of those. But there's one of my bags, Rosemary Cottage. I'll just throw that over there. The next one is Callie & Co. I actually made this one last weekend. And again with the Lori Holt zipper. Here's my lining fabric. And I do have a project kitted in here. I'll show that to you. It's called This Happy Morning. I'm doing the dark version. Or I will do the dark version. And at least helped me pick the fabric. I had ordered like 3. Don't judge me too harshly for that. And this is what Lisa helped me pick. It's called, I think it's called Slate. Yeah, we had a good laugh over that. Slate by Fabrics by Stephanie. And it's really beautiful, mottled black. It is a black, because I had looked up on Instagram what other people were stitching on, because the Black Swan was like impossible to find. And so I was like, oh, what are other people stitching it on? So, so Black Swan was impossible to find, so I had ordered, so somebody was stitching on Twilight by Weeks Dye Works, and I ordered that, and it was blue. And I was like, no, I don't want the blue. Hard to believe, because I stitched 27 things on blue, but I really wanted that dark, dark, dark black. And so that Slate, I think, is going to work great. Next is my swan bag. I have made a swan bag as a self-proclaimed swan stitcher. Look how beautiful this is. This fabric line is called Love Letter by Lizzie Kate. Look at the swans, people. Look at them. Look at them. So this is Love Letter by Lizzie Kate. And look at this zipper charm. I told myself I couldn't buy the zipper charm until I made the freaking bag. So it's by Moda, Lizzie House by Moda. Look at the lining. Lizzie House used to design a long time ago for Andover Fabrics, and her mini pearl bracelets, that's what this fabric inside is called, was so popular, and we loved it at our house. And I've made many a quilt block with her tone on tone mini pearl bracelets. Just a fabulous background. And we're jazzed that she's back. She's designing for Moda. So in here I have my swan projects. Do you want to see those? You've seen them before. First is Repeat the Sounding Joy. I know, it's still all in here. But bonus is now I have these swan floss drops. So I can take them out. How cool are those, people? But does that make a difference? How cool are those? So I'm going to put my MPIs on there and live my best life. Oh, I have some fabric in here. Do you remember what it was? 40 count. Oh, 40 count gallows. Okay, needle and flax. Can't go wrong. So that, and I got the MPIs from my self-proclaimed friend Olivia B. Olivia, one day maybe we'll meet in person. And then I have Winter Swan. It's my other swan project. I do have Christmas Swan floating around somewhere. And this I guess I put together my own floss conversion, so maybe I should start that. I think I should start both of them. But now they're living in their happy little swan bag. I love it. Okay, so I have that going on. Oh, and the Love Blooms, that was the other new one I had made. Okay, let's talk about some other things. I'm not the biggest spring/summer stitcher, I don't think, but then I look at all these whips and I'm like, maybe I am. But I do have some new projects I want to start. And of course they're giant, so that's helpful. So this is a bag I made last year with some, this is Blackbird Design cross-stitch fabric, and I just whipped it together. So it's not super exciting. But my two spring projects is Penny Spring. And this one I will stitch that penny border because I like the pinks. The autumn one was like all browns, and I can only do so much brown. But I love the house, and I have it kitted up with all the called for in a Cedar River linen. So you can tell I kitted this up 100 years ago because who knows what that fabric is anymore. And this is 36 count overcast. So I'm not a huge 36 count stitcher, but who cares? Maybe I'll still do it in 36 count. But now my stash of 40 count has really increased, but we'll see. So that's living in this bag. Probably because my zipper charm is this cute little house. Okay, and then my other one that I have kitted up ready to go is Spring Moon. Now, my spring moon will look very different from this pattern. And I am dying to start this because I call her my stitchy doppelganger. Is a Stitch for Mom. Her name is Caitlin. Go watch her videos. She loves Brenda Gervais. She has a ton of spring projects, and she's stitching this on this most beautiful blue fabric. And I had ordered, it's from Access Commodities, I think, and I was dying because when I purchased a very small cut for Salem Mini Moon, because she has been up and down influencing old Michelle Burt here, I had that blue in my cart and I was like, no, I don't need it. And then what was I thinking? But it's on the most beautiful blue fabric, a Stitch for Mom. I'll tag her below. She is a treat. Anyways, she is stitching this. And I said, oh, maybe I will start mine when the first official day of spring. And she was like, oh, maybe you can't finish yours until I finish, or you can't start yours until I finish mine. And I'm like, okay, yes, ma'am. So, but I'm changing this. So I'm changing this in 2 ways. First is the fabric. I have this 40 count denim pale. It's this lovely blue. To me, a very spring blue. It's a little gray in my opinion. It's a little cloudy, and I think it will be lovely. How great is that? So that's my fabric, clearly very different from baked clay, which is what the called for is. And instead of those blues, even though I love navy blue, one of my favorite colors, one of my wedding colors, you'll never guess what Michelle Burt did her conversion to. I know it's hard to believe, but she converted to purples, ma'am. And all the other colors I pretty much stayed the same, but I just, look at those. Look at those purples. How could you not want to stitch those flowers and tulips in purple? So anyways, purple, blue fabric, very different. And I'm not doing the basket. The basket color was, I don't know, it was like blue, or it was red. And I'm like, my basket's not red, my basket is brown. So I switched that to, I think I switched it to this wagon wheel. Yeah. Classic Colorworks wagon wheel. So one day I will start this and you will see if my color choices were good or need some more adjusting. So that's my other major spring project that I would like to start this year. I guess I'm in my Plum Street era, like a lot of other people, and I'm okay with that. It was an unintentional Plum Street era. Okay, let's see. A couple other things I have to show. One is some stitchy kindness from my friend Brooke, and she sent me a late Christmas gift, which was super nice. And it's this beautiful bag. Clearly I need a house project in here like Lisa stated. And we were also just talking about this little stitcher key fob. My dogs ate mine that I got from StitchCon, and my husband has already fixed it at least one time. We're gonna need another time because they got a hold of it again. So thank you, Brooke, for being a great friend. Okay. Well, it hasn't been that much time, so what the hey. We'll go through some old spring/summer whips. And maybe I'll get excited and I want to stitch on them again, which is probably going to happen. Okay, none of them are ironed because I thought of this about 5 seconds before we got this party started, people. Okay, so my first one here is really, maybe doesn't qualify, but I think the colors are spring and summer. It's Saltbox Quilt Sampler, and I started this at StitchCon. And so maybe I'm like, maybe I'll finish it for StitchCon. And me and Mom went to Color and Cotton on our way home. We did our own color conversion. Obviously, Michelle Burt has been having some purple times. And so, this is on a Color and Cotton fabric as well. I'm sure it's a 40 count, but this is where I'm at. So how cute is that? And this is, maybe the bag was spring. It's a Painted Leaf Co. bag. How cute is that? So, loving this one. Mom, do we need to get this out again? Okay, next is a bag I made myself. This is a By Annie pattern. I don't remember what it's called. This one is called Strawberry Mountain, and I'll have to insert a picture. But I'm stitching this on a Be Stitch Me fabric called Cinnamon, I believe. And I'm using all the called for flosses, and this is how far I had gotten last year. So I'm kind of itching to pull this out. It's just really fun stitch. It's easy to stitch on. The colors are amazing because I love those bright colors. And the fabric is really nice. So there's that one. Very summery, I think. Not that we're anywhere near summer, but here's another bag I made by Teddy and the Bears. This is the Teddy and the Bears pattern. This one is a current stitch along. Some people are stitching on this. Has put a bird on it, and so I've been really wanting to get this out because people are stitching on it, but then I have that other modern folk embroidery, and then I fight with myself. So this is a color in cotton fabric. I don't remember what it's called, but it has just a little hint of green, and I'm using some Belle Soie silks that I got at the attic. Natalie, a lady I met there, helped me pick them out, and I love it. I love my progress that I've made, and just that hint of green in the fabric is really nice. So my Belle Soies that I'm using are, I think I've used them all except for one still. Elegant Eggplant. Oh, this is my mini McBeans. Pecan Pie, Noir, Tortoiseshell, and Empress. Oh, Empress is the one I haven't used yet. So, they're so lovely. Of course, I'm doing purple. So, like I said, I'm really itching to stitch on that one. So maybe some tentative plans are that I will finish that motif on my purple on purple, and then I will get this one out. Okay. Another Sherry and Chelsea bag, Strawberry Lemonade. This is Strawberry Fields Forever. I am a big Beatles fan. This is 40 Count French Pear by number 12 Stitch Co. And I remember not having a ton of progress on this, yeah. So I just have this kind of border along the edge. And this color is kind of a green yellow. It's really nice, and I remember enjoying stitching on it. I'm just using the called for, nothing crazy, but fun to stitch on. So yeah, I made it down to the edge before the gate in front of the house. So this one, blackbirds in particular, I tend to get that decision fatigue more because there are so many color changes. And so, like I said, sometimes that's why I like a border, to kind of, I say, anchor me. Okay, this one is another blackbird that I love more strong. I'm doing that front cover pattern with that lovely pink house. This is in a bag. This is a Robin Pickens fabric line I made last year. Okay, well, this is on some Lakeside linen that I scrounged up. I forget what it's called, straw flower maybe? Oh yeah, and I made good progress on this. I finished the whole alphabet. I did that giant, or I guess I'm not done with that giant pot, but I got all the strawberries done on the giant pot. This is about the width of it, so I need to work my way down now. The flowers in the top border are like satin stitches, I think. Yeah. So anyways, I really love this, and Lakeside is of course a delight to stitch on, so I want to get back and put some more progress on this. But again, as I just said, decision fatigue sets in sometimes with the Blackbird. And I think this is with an old needle. You could take that out. This was in my pre-Lori Holt needle era. And that's just with all the called for, nothing different. Okay, then my last, what I have dubbed my spring/summer project. This is in a bag. This fabric line is called Emma. This is Sherry and Chelsea as well. So you can tell they're definitely my favorite fabric designer. So this is Little Robin Designs Emma Thatcher. Very appropriate to put in the Emma fabric bag. So I started this last year. And it was in March sometime, I believe, because I went on a spring break trip and I worked a lot on it. So let's see where I'm at. And I'm using, I believe, all the called for. There was one floss I couldn't get, so I'm just using the DMC conversion. Okay. This fabric is a Fox and Rabbit, but I think it was in their fabric club. And so it was called Dust Bunny in the fabric club, but it is not the Dust Bunny that came out last year at Market. So mine is like a pink peach tint. This is where I am. And the border is not perfect. It didn't match up perfect, but it was too late to go back, and so I just sponged it. But I have all the border flowers done. I love the colors. I was kind of working in this motif here last I picked it up, and yeah, it's really fun. So, but as you can see, a lot of these are samplers. I really don't know the definition of a true sampler, and I don't need to know, I don't think, but sometimes people call things samplers, and I'm like, oh, I didn't realize that was one. So sampler-esque, maybe is the right word. But, and anyways, so, and I'm definitely not doing those words that I believe are over one. Definitely not. What I'm going to put there instead, I don't know. To be determined. But I think my main part that I loved about this piece was the colors. Like, I love the border. Like, the border brings me joy because of that green that's like a blue-green. And the flowers with those yellows and golds. And I'm dying to get to that house, but then there's like dogs and flower and berry baskets and all this other stuff. So, but again, lots of color changes so that fatigue sets in. So if you don't have that, congratulations. Michelle Burt's got it in spades. So, okay. So anyways, and I was talking to Lisa about this yesterday, and I tend not to show any haul because when I get haul, I gotta put it away. I can't have it out. So yeah, I've been buying stuff, and I've kind of mentioned some of that here and there. So sorry if you like haul, you're probably not gonna get much of that on this channel. Okay, I'm gonna pause and reset, and I'll be right back. Okay. So I have a lovely special guest here today. This is Aaron, this is my husband, and he asked if he wanted to be on the video, and I was like, heck yeah, man. So Lily's down here back, she's back again. I'll try to insert a picture. So he is going to do two things in our videos now. One, he's gonna pick a project for me to work on, and I know he's such a good sport. Every time I finish something, he's like, woo, this looks amazing. And I'm like, oh, what do you think? And he's the best. So we'll start with that, and then we'll talk about his project. Okay, so do you want to see the project, or do you want to see the pattern? Like what it's going to look like at the end, or both?
Show me the project first.
Okay.
And then show me what it's going to become.
Okay.
Are any of them done enough that I could like guess what they're gonna be?
I don't know.
Or they're so done that it's obvious?
Definitely not all that done. Okay, so this is the one you've probably been seeing lately. This one's called Adorn Your Heart.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yes, I know. obviously, this is what it's gonna look like.
Well, I did not know that there was going to be a house in there
Nope.
the same height as the flowers.
It's a big thing in cross stitch is the manipulation of things being larger than they really are in real life.
Yes, I see that.
Mm-hmm.
So either the flowers are closer to the camera, or they're just huge,
Yes.
or the house is tiny.
Exactly. Okay. This is the other one you've probably seen me working on lately.
Oh yes, this one's really coming along.
Hey, that was a lot of work right there.
I'm impressed. Is it almost done?
No, we gotta fill in that whole inside part.
You'll never have like a minimalistic one where it's, you know, like this is like modern art. So it's done and people are like, wow. Wow, I see what she was going for with that.
Probably not. So this is what it's gonna look like at the end.
Oh yeah. We're almost there, aren't we? Very nice. Okay.
So
What is this one called?
This one's called At Home.
Okay. Do you always do the flowers first, or is that just a coincidence?
I think that's just a coincidence now. Sometimes I start in the middle, and I like to get the border done because it's easy to count off of some of those certain features.
Okay. If I see any other flowers first, I'm not gonna believe you.
Right, there's the oh, I forgot, that's the pattern.
Okay.
So this is,
Where are we at with it?
this is mine.
Oh, a purple background.
Purple background.
On this one.
Mm-hmm. So this one's a very different style than the other ones. I just folded it in half because it's easier to hold.
I actually like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, the dark purple against the light purple background.
Yeah.
So how do these work? Like, because this isn't purple. They just show you what it looks like and you pick the colors?
So in videos you'll see it talks about called for. So like most patterns, when they stitched it and took like the cover photo, they picked a specific fabric and floss. So like this one, oh I don't have, this one's better, it's in the pattern. So this one they stitched on, it's called 36 count hog bristle by a fabric dyer. And then if you use all of the floss that they specify, you say use the called for floss.
Okay.
So this one, when it's just simpler in design and it doesn't look like it has a lot of colors in it, it's easier to change in my opinion. And so I had seen some other people on Flosstube do like a pink background with a pink floss, and so I wanted to do purple instead.
So it's like color by number and you just change the colors?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, exactly.
Very good. Please continue.
Okay, here's this one. This one's a little small. So that's like the height, the whole height is from that to that.
That's the whole thing?
No, it has to go farther out. But that's like the full height of the piece.
Oh, it's going to be like long and skinny?
Yeah.
Okay, what's the final
So
product?
this one.
Oh, it is long and skinny?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the 2025 Collector's Heart.
Yes, I love the positive mental health message that
Love
this one
who you
brings.
are. That's right. Okay. So here's this one. It's a lady.
Ah. Yes, I see her. She's got an egg?
She's gonna have another egg over here too.
2 eggs.
2 eggs.
And is there going to be a giant bird?
There is a bird. There's a chicken. Called Coffee and Eggs.
I'm a big fan of this one. A lady with 2 eggs like this, and a huge chicken and a cup of coffee. Big fan. This is a contender for the top spot.
We're coffee people. There's that one. Okay, this is the last one that I've been working on. Okay, so here's my progress.
What do we got? Part of a border, the moon, a tree, and a piece of a roof.
Yep. And that's like gate work on top.
Let's see the final product. Oh, it's gonna have stars too, or are those snowflakes?
I think they're stars. The
It
cover
makes sense
photo
since
is
they got the moon out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and this is like a stamp.
I think it's a goose.
Well,
Oh. I don't know.
thank you, but he's like a stamp, right?
I don't know what that is. Or why he's on the white background. I guess so. I never even realized
So
that
it's kind of
part.
like a little postcard?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. I like that one a lot. I like the stars and the moon.
Yeah.
Is that all of them?
Mhm.
And I'm picking what? My favorite or the one for you to work on?
You're just gonna pick one for me to focus on. Like, I could put all of these away and not work on them for another year. But if...
Is that what you do?
No, not necessarily.
Does that ever happen? But you don't turn around and buy new ones in that year, right?
No, I would never.
Okay. I like this one with the lady with the eggs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do too. That one's fun.
Yeah, y'all look at that. That one's the coolest.
But you see how I changed the colors on her outfit?
Yeah. I'm glad you did, actually. I like the blue
Yeah.
better than the orange.
Yeah, I do too.
So you're gonna have to change the rainbow and the
have-
feathers on the chicken?
I don't know. I haven't quite gotten there yet. I mainly wanted to change her. And I'll change the colors in the coffee cup. And I might not put these butterflies over here.
The rainbow could use some blue.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very muted blue. Muted rainbow.
Yeah, I understand that these are supposed to have muted colors, but
Well, they don't have to.
I like the
The
palette
bright.
that you're going for better.
Yeah, me too. It definitely needs some purple.
Yes, this one. I expect this to be fully completed
Oh.
by the next video,
Yes, sir.
or you will be reprimanded.
Do you want to see my bag
Yes.
that I have it in? Isn't that cute?
Yes. Are we doing a bag review? Like, do I get to look through it?
If you want to. That's the actual pattern. This is just the cover photo.
All right, for all you stitching partners out there, sitting in the living room while your partner watches this Flosstube, wondering what's in these bags, I'm about to tell you right now. You know there's paperwork. I've always seen the papers. I never knew what was on them.
We can't show that too much because of copyright.
Well, then maybe I shouldn't do this.
We just
We'll cut
splashed
this.
it.
We'll cut this part out, but
I mean, it's
it's
like color
telling you
by
what
number.
color.
Yeah, so like the little box, the little squares have different symbols, and the symbols like correlate to a color. Well, that was my old one. So that was the one I first started. I don't know why I keep that in there.
Okay, I'll cut it back in here. Okay, now I've been reprimanded. I'm not allowed to show that for copyright reasons. But there is a paper with the design showing what colors to put in what places. And then within the bag we have another bag, this one full of the yarn.
Floss.
Yes, the yarn. Same thing, right?
No.
How was I supposed to know?
He knows.
And then extra
That's just
canvas.
so that's my old. This is my old start that I gave up on.
You just crammed it in here anyway?
I did cram it in here anyway.
Do you ever need like a scratch piece to see if something's gonna work?
Yeah, but you should do it on the fabric you're stitching on to see. Oh, that was the bag that I got the floss from. That was the store I got it from. Hillside Rookery, if you can see that.
And so the point of these bags is to put your project materials in,
Yep, just keep it neat and tidy and
because otherwise you've got too many projects going on to keep all the stuff separate.
right. At least that's what I do.
That
And I
makes
made
sense.
this bag.
Is that what everybody does, or people have different?
So you can buy like Amazon mesh bags, and I did that for a while, but then I have enough fabric to make my own bags too.
What if you had like a big bookshelf, and you could put them in like little like binders on the shelf.
Yeah, I guess you could do that. That's just not as cute.
But it's, I guess part of the purpose is you can take these like to go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Interesting.
Like when we go on our trip
Yeah.
to Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it with me. And so then I can like look at the bag and I already know like what project it is when I grab it. Okay, so we're gonna keep that one. Okay. Are you gonna talk about your project?
Oh, yes. Time for my segment. Okay. So, whenever it comes to Christmas and birthday gifts, Michelle has to make me a list because if you stitching partners are watching or listening, y'all know what I'm talking about when I say we don't know how to buy all this stuff. Like, we support it, we're into it, it's very cool, but if I walk into a stitching shop unsupervised, I'm not going to come out of there with the right thing. To me, it all looks the same. I know it's not all the same, but I'm not equipped with the eyes to know the difference. So, in a moment of foolishness, I saw a thing that I thought was along the lines of what you do, and I bought Michelle this thing. I think he's super cool, even though, one, he is clearly a Pokemon, but they didn't put the name Squirtle on here, which tells me that this probably is like knockoff unlicensed business, and I didn't even realize that when I bought it for you. But anyhow, he's a little crochet Squirtle, and I'm like, yeah, this is crafty. She'll like this. This is like all along the same lines. And
It's like parallel.
you know when you give somebody a gift and they open it and you can tell like you kind of messed that one up. That's what this was. So I can tell he's just gonna sit here until he gets thrown out. So you were gonna do it?
Maybe.
I'm gonna do it. So I'll do it. I actually want him done anyways. It was like kind of a selfish gift to give you, I guess, because I wanted to put him on the wall with the Pikachu that I got in Seattle.
Yeah.
I'll put a picture on the screen. But anyhow, I want it done, so I guess I'll just do it myself. And that will give me something to report back on. A little whip for you guys.
There you go with that terminology.
Video. Yeah, a whip.
Yay!
That will be my project, and I will report back in our next video next month.
Sure.
Do we advertise that?
No.
Next time
Next time.
is when you will see it
It could be
again.
3 months.
Could be 3 years.
Could be.
It might take me that long to figure out how to crochet. So.
Well, I can't help you. I don't know how to do crochet either.
What if like we started it that way, and then I kind of just like slowly did less and less, and next thing you know, you did it all. You gonna let me get away with that?
No.
We'll see.
Okay, well, is that everything?
That is everything from me.
Okay, well, that's everything from me.
Well, thank you, you two, for your time and attention and for watching our videos. Like, comment, subscribe, check out the OnlyFans, check out the Patreon, check out what else you got.
Nothing. I don't have anything except YouTube and Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram.
Oh, I thought we were going to get rich off this.
No. Bye, babe. Okay, well. So anyways, come back next time and see my project that Aaron decided to pick out for me. See if he has decided to dive into the world of 3-dimensional crochet. And thanks for watching. Leave a comment. If there's a different whip you want me to work on, let me know. And happy stitching, everyone. Bye.